Okay, now we are ready. I'm recording. So, this a beautiful sutta which explains about what an anagami should be, sorry, what a Sotapanna should be doing. So, if he is a Sotapanna, what happens? How does he become a Sotapanna? This sutta is from Sanyukta Nikaya, and I'll be sharing in the description so people can take it. It is 22.122. Silavanta Sutta. This is a very beautiful sutta. This is a discussion between Venerable Sariputta and Venerable Mahakottita. So Sariputta gets a question that what should a bhikkhu attend to? So now when we call a bhikkhu, need not be associated or stopped with only the bhikkhu. Even the lay people can do this. So it shouldn't be a big deal. So how does a sotapanna happen? Or rather, what is sota? Sota can be called as two ways. Sota is by hearing and also the stream. Apanna is arrived. So one who has arrived here by listening to the Dhamma, or he has arrived by the stream, meaning he entered into the Buddha Shasana because something he was able to understand. Now the question comes, what is he going to understand and what is he not going to understand? So we have four types of Puggala. It can be, maybe instead of going into the detail of those Puggala, we can say that somebody who can just by listening once can understand, just like Sariputta. There would be people who require a longer discourses, and there are people who require examples or illustrations, and there are people who cannot get anything no matter how much they struggle in their life. Now does that mean they cannot become a sotapanna? So first we need to know what is sotapanna, how it is got, and then we can say who are qualified and who are not qualified, or if to become qualified what you should do, and in which sutta or where we can observe this. So the first thing, sotapanna, this is the first stage where a person does not land in the apayas. Now what is this apaya business? Let's understand. Apaya is danger. In fact, it is from two words, and paya. Paya means foundation. Apaya means foundationless. That means that being can get into problem because he or she is so careless that even if they have attained a good birth, at the exhausting of that, they might fall into the hell or ghost realms, or it can be an asura realm, or in the niraya, which is nothing but hell. These are the four apaya, foundationless. So when we put a paya, that means when we have a foundation, what it really means is that you will, or that being will not be reborn in any other of these existence, but will be starting with the human birth or with the deva realm of existence. So these are the two possibilities. So the first thing is to stop oneself from getting into the apayas. Now the question comes, how do I ensure that I don't get into the apaya? First thing is that we should not be killing our mother and father. Now we might say we don't kill. Nobody in this environment. Does that mean that we all are sotapannas? Killing here is three types: by the body, by the speech, by the mind. I might not take a sword or a gun or something to shoot my parents, but I might verbally abuse them. I might mentally abuse them, which makes them feel that why are we still alive? So it's equivalent to doing that. Physically, I've not done anything, but mentally, I have given them enough pain. In the same way, I have troubled them through my speech intentionally. My idea was to hurt them, so that the more they are hurt, the better I feel. If that is what I am having in my mind, but I have not killed anyone in the sense of killing, I would be reborn in a apaya. So let's say I come into the Buddha Dhamma, Buddha Shasana, and I listen to the suttas or I listen to the discourses. I might get a little bit interested, but I might not myself get an understanding. So that is a hindrance. So what I should do then? I should, if my parents are still alive, I should start focusing on them, making them feel comfortable. So then they don't have ill will or they don't feel bad about the son or the daughter what they have. So they bless. So those blessings will remove the hindrance. So when it removes the hindrance, the visikicha, the skeptical doubt automatically goes away. This is one. The second, I might have done the same thing with an arhat, or I might have done the same thing with the Buddha, or I might have injured an arhat or injured the Buddha. So in these circumstances, the Sotapanna marga phala, that is the path fruition, might not really happen as fast as I could think. But let's say I don't have any one of these, then what should happen is that if I am listening to a discourse, it opens up with an aha moment. I might be listening to any desanas or any discourses of anyone on the internet, or I'm reading the suttas, or I am reading some books which talk about whichever nikaya it is, then I should be able to establish knowledge on my own. So, this is how I get to see that I can get into the Sotapanna anugami, meaning I'm walking on the step of being a Sotapanna, not at a Sotapanna. So, this is the way of doing it. So, now I am coming into the path. I need to walk the path. Now, the question comes, what should I do walking on that path? The first thing is the understanding of what is Buddha. So that's what we started of Buddhanusati. So the first and foremost thing we need to do is to meditate on the Buddha, not the Gautama Buddha. It is the quality of the Buddha, like iti piso bhagava arham, like that. And the uposatta, if I am following on every 2 weeks moon nights, which is the full moon or the new moon from morning till night, if I am working out using the uposatta sutta exactly like that, then within a short time of 7 days or 7 weeks and like that, we should be able to get into the Sotapanna, because I would be exactly mimicking how an arhat would be doing, but I'm doing it every 14 days, not every day. So this is another way of entering into the stream using the uposatta. Now there's another way around is by this understanding the sila khanda, that is the morality. So if I start working out on the dasa akusala, then I can see a relief from the suffering in my heart, meaning the contraction feeling goes away and expansion feeling starts, giving a very pleasing state of mind. Then I know that I am coming near a Sotapanna state. And another way of doing it, of the same Sotapanna, is to listen to one of a Kalyana Mitra or a Bhante or a teacher, can be lay or can be a bhikkhu, doesn't matter. But the minimum is that when you listen to that person, you should get the aha moment. His voice and his eyes, or her voice and her eyes, when you listen or when you see that person, like what we are doing now, let's say you are seeing my video and you are able to get a lot of awakening moments, and listening to the voice you feel really a niramisa sukha happening, and seeing my eyes in the camera you are able to see that it has a great deal of attraction. That shows that the person is having, at least has reached Sotapanna and beyond. So a person who is a Sotapanna and beyond can pull another person into the stream. It's just like crossing river. So when I'm crossing the river, I need to be ensuring that uh, I need to be ensuring that I have the life jacket and I'm pulling the other person so that he doesn't drown. So a Sotapanna is able to pull the other person. So if it is a Sakadagami, it becomes even more better. If it's an Anagami, it is even more better. If it is an Arhat, nothing more to ask for. So automatically by associating with this Kalyana Mitra or a Dhamma friend, one can get into a Sotapanna. So these are the various ways of getting into Sotapanna. So now, what should I do? What should I do after coming here? I should reflect upon the Rupa Khanda, the Vedana Khanda, Sanya Khanda, Sankhara Khanda, and Vinyana Khanda. In this, I need to look at a Upadana, grasping. So I need to understand the five aggregates and five grasping aggregates. They both are not the same, but little bit of difference is that the consciousness grasps onto the itself of the remaining four, and hence it becomes a grasping aggregate. Otherwise, it is just five aggregates. So by working out on the 10 immoral deeds, that is 3 by the body and 4 by the speech and 3 by the mind, as we start working out, what basically then happens is that the person, whoever is the person, would get their asavas, defilements, keeping on reducing. So then he should be using yoniso manasikara to first understand what is rupa. So what he should do is, for few days, or he or she should do for few days, just look at what is a form. So the best sutta for that again is in Sanyukta Nikaya 22.93, which is Phena Pindupama Sutta, that talks about the Phena is the foam, a lump of foam, a simile of lump of foam. Phena Pindu Upama means a simile of lump of foam. In that, Buddha talks about when you go to a river, you will find foam. So I can do it at my home. Instead of going to a river, I can take a bucket and I can put some water, I can put some soap, the soap powder, fill it up with water. Then I can create some forms. When I create form, I can see that there is a form like my body. Now I need to meditate. I need to take the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, these three things. When Sila is also good, establish 5 Silas, then I can meditate on that form, observing it, what really it is. And I can see it doesn't have any essence. Ritta, meaning it is basically nothing being there. Then tucha. Tucha means inferior. It you can't even consider. And then shunya, empty. So what we can see is that the form does not have anything to hold on to. It keeps on, the bubbling is there, and then a new one comes and the old one goes, and the new one comes and the old one goes. So now I can see the anicca nature happening. So now I can see what really is anicca. Instead of theory, anicca is impermanence. Some people say it is not impermanence, it is not as per one's wish. And they say that, yeah, if it is not as per one wish, it means impermanence. So there's a lot of debates and discussions and so many things happening. Instead of that, I can practically do it at home. So when I practically do it at home, what I see that this form creates distortion. It gives me the compactness because each of the bubbles are getting replaced. So it seems like everything is perfectly aligned. In the same way, I can look at my body and I can see that the same thing is happening with I eat food, it get replaced, a new food get replaced. So some hairs or something is coming, and it can be gray hairs or it can be black hairs, it can be whatever it is. The body keeps on changing every moment because of the food what I'm eating. So now I know that it is anicca nature, and because it's anicca nature, it has dukkha in it. And I can see there is no person there, it's anatta. So I can see that it is anicca. If I were to hold it, becomes dukkha, suffering, because there's a feeling that it is nicca where it's not, and there's no person, no personality. I can't call the form as my personality, so I can't call this body as my personality. Then I can do with vedana. So when I say vedana, it is something to do with connection between two things. One is the chakku and one is the rupa. Through the chakku vinyana, so there is a consciousness has to come, and it has to attach these two so that the phassa should happen. So chakku sampajjasa vedana. So now I can observe it. So first few days I observe on the rupa. Then after that I got the grasp of it, or I've understood it. Then I look at the vedana. Then like that sanya is the perception of the sight and sound and taste and touch and smell. Like that. Sankharas are the intentions, and through intention I prepare a lot of things. So that is what I'm going to do. And then the vinyana is a consciousness which appears in each of these sense doors, making a feeling of I. So I can see an experiencer and an experienced. So when I see in individual ways, I find that there is no real I. So that's what I need to be doing. Okay. So then when I do it, the Sila Batta Paramasa anyway has gone, because I have abundance faith in the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Visikicha is gone away because again I have the faith or the Saddha in the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. And then Sakkaya Ditti also goes away. Sakkaya Ditti is taking these 5 aggregates as mine. So that itself goes away. So when I practice like that, I know that I've arrived now as Sotapanna, then an anugami. So from anugami, I have got the phala. That means I have got the fruit. Now I am 100% certain that I am at least Sotapanna, if not Sakadagami or Anagami. So then it is that I need to do it. The same thing can be done by Sakadagami. And the same thing is also done by the, what I can say, Anagami. So Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami can keep on looking at these 5 aggregate and reducing the impact of the Sakkaya Ditti. So in this sutta, the Silavanta Sutta of 22.122, it talks about all the 3 Sekha means learners. So the three learners, one is Sotapanna, Sakadagami, and Anagami. These three people are Sekha. So then these three people have to go through this. Go through what? Go through the understanding of what is Buddha, what is Dhamma, what is Sangha. In the case of Sakadagami and Anagami, that is not required because they have understood it. In the case of Sotapanna, Anugami, this is required, but as Sotapanna doesn't require it, then the Sakhya Ditti automatically gets gone away from that person. So in that way, the Nivarna, the five Nivarna, Pancha Nivarna, and Sanyojana, the 10 Sanyojanas which are there, in that the first three Sanyojana, that is the Visikicha, then the Sila Vitta Paramasa, then the Sakhya Ditti, these three will not be there. They go, leading him to Sutta. Any questions?
Yes, thank you for that. So, can a person practice taking one part of the aggregate to
Yes.
contemplate?
Yes.
For example, Vedana, and contemplate and become a Sotapanna.
Yes. Any one
Just
of
the
them.
person,
Yes, any one of them can be taken. So you don't have to take all the five. So the easiest is Rupa because it is gross. But if somebody's mind is developed, they can take Vedana or Sanya or Sankhara or Vinyana. Then you turn to Sotapanna with either one of them.
and at that moment, when a person from an anugami, they become a Sotapanna, is there an experiential
Yes.
knowledge, or it just happened progressively, gradually?
No, 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 no. Instantly you will experience the five aggregates arising and going off. Meaning you will not take it as
Please
yours.
elaborate.
Okay, so let's say when I see myself on the mirror, so this is how I can really see whether I am a Sotapanna or not. So what I need to do is stand in front of the mirror. If I am still associating myself as this body appearing there, it means I am still an anugami. I have still not attained it. But when I stand in front of the mirror, when I am really practicing it, I don't see myself as this body. I just see the body. There is no feeling of I am in this body. I don't even get a feeling of I am as a feeling. I don't get a perception that it is me as Vilas here, standing in front of the mirror. Then I don't do any sankharas to make it as Vilas. Meaning I should look good. Whatever I need to do, I will be doing. Meaning I need to wear a dress. I need to be, covered or whatever it is. That I will do, but I will not be doing this thing as beautification. So there's nothing called beautification. And the vinyana, the six vinyanas which arise, they don't have the grasping nature. The grasping nature in the sense grasping onto itself through the rupa, vedana, sanya, and sankhara. So that will not be there. So the best way to work forward to see whether I am a Sotapanna or not is to really see in front of mirror or like this what I am doing in front of the camera, whether I take it as myself. This is my hair, this is my eyes, this is my ears, this is my nose, this is my tongue, like that. Or am I seeing it as just an eyes and ears and nose and tongue and body, like that? Everybody has, even I have. Simple. I might be fair looking or I might be dark looking, I might be whatever looking, but that has got nothing to do with me. So then there is no grasping, and you can feel it in your heart, in the center of your heart. You can feel that unbinding nature. So then you know that you have attained Sotapanna.
Thank you for that clarification.
So this is how you can practically do it.
So in some monks, they talk about it is in the Abhidhamma, they call a talk about the Sotapanna, the Palachitta and the fruitation and the path happens and the same mind moves within
Correct.
to each other. Is
Correct.
that what is that um, linked to what you are saying now? Because here there is a gap between an anugami and when a person attain the path and the fruitation.
Yeah, so here is the problem on the Abhidhamma. Not the Abhidhamma has issues, but in the way we are conditioned to accept the Abhidhamma. Abhidhamma is more about the Chitta and Chetasika, so our mind is not that strong enough to understand the Chitta and Chetasika. So, theoretically speaking, okay, if we were to just go by the theory, then at that mind moment it happens. It just happens in an instant. Okay, so when I'm practicing, why I said about the mirror is that we keep on staring at the mirror. That's the best place to go and see whether there's a change in the mind of grasping. If it has turned out to be positive, then you will not grasp that feature coming out in the mirror. You would not really take it as yourself. You know there's a form, you know there's a feeling, there is a perception, there is a sankharas or the preparations or volitions, and you know there is consciousness. That's all you know, but you will not grasp on that this is me. So that if you take Abhidhamma happens at that mind moment. So chitta kshana, at that chitta's moment, the chetasika, the seven universal chetasika has the fruit. So it immediately happens. So the anugami, if he is there, turns out to be a phala at that moment. That
Okay, makes sense.
did that answer the question?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, okay. And if a person looks at the mirror and they simply see a spacious awareness, what does that mean?
It means that you are moved beyond the Sotapanna state. That's what it would mean. Why? You didn't ask me why. That spacious awareness can only come when you are not grasping onto the form or to the feeling or to the perception like that.
Okay. But in your other video, you say that the feeling of I doesn't disappear until arahatship.
No, no. It is like this. What it means here is that mana, vanity, the deeper I feeling still exists. So now we are talking about two things. One form as I within the form. There are a lot of suttas in Sanyukta Nikaya where Buddha gives you that clarity. And you will yourself come to know about it. So now what is this you're feeling? When I stand in front of the mirror, there is what will happen. When I stand in front of the mirror reflection comes on the screen or on the my this body is coming on the screen or on the mirror. So first thing what happens? First thing there is a connection between the frame or the mirror and this object through the chakku vinyana. Okay, that's what is happening. Now, a normal person takes this body as mine, or I am within this body, or body is one and I am another, and I'm at present in the body, something like that. So, there are five things what Buddha talk about when it comes to Rupa. And that's exactly the feeling we get when we stand in front of the mirror. So there is this feeling coming up because of the phassa, that is contact. But what I am talking about in the other videos and also that is there as the five Sanyojana, the higher Sanyojana, is there is mana. That mana is nothing but the vanity. That is I-ness. That is, I am enjoying, I am suffering, I am the experiencer, I am the experienced. Now, I am enjoying, I am suffering will go away, but the experiencer and the experienced will go away only at Arhat, because that has to get dissolved, because that is when you have the mana. So, out of the three things, that is the ditti is gone at Sotapanna, Sakkaya ditti, that ditti is gone, view. But the mana and the tanha are going to be there. Okay, only one is gone, the other two exist. In the case of an arhat, there is no mana, there is no tanha. In the case of anagami, there is no tanha relating to the sensuality and the vyapada, which we can say ill will or feeling irritated or something like that. But he is having craving for rupa jhanas and arupa jhanas as an anagami. Why? Because he is so happily being there, enjoying the bliss of the rupa and arupa jhanas, that he doesn't want to let it go. So who is enjoying it? Or what is happening? There's nothing called suffering. But he feels he is experiencing the rupa jhanas. He feels that he is experiencing arupa jhanas. Then there is a feeling of that experience. So the experiencer and experienced are going to be there for anagami. And hence the mana exists. So what we are talking is two different things. One thing is, as a Sakkaya Ditti feeling, is it gone? Yes. But if the mana also is gone, answer is no. Does that answer?
Yes. So what you are saying, let me clarify it, please. So what you are saying is that the I-ness or the center point is still there
Yes.
until Arahant.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In the heart region, you would still feel an I, irrespective whether you're a Sotapanna or a Sakdagami or Anagami, because they all are three are Sek training. So it's like calling somebody as an apprentice. So Sotapanna is an apprentice, Sakadagami is a junior apprentice, and Anagami is a senior apprentice. But all the three are apprentices.
Okay, it's much clearer. And the time that the center point dissolves itself is when the Arahat Phala Chitta is achieved.
Exactly. So what first happens? The first thing is that he let go of the craving, tanha, for rupa and arupa jhana. So he has rupa raga, arupa raga. Those two goes away. With that going away, udacha goes away, restlessness. With that going away, the mana goes away. Then the fifth sanyojana, avidya, that goes away. So avidyayatveva asesa viraga nirodho, that happens at arhat. Only the experience is happening in anagami, more experience in anagami, less experience in sakadagami, and a still more lesser experience in sotapanna. But the complete cessation is only happening at arhat.
Okay, I understand it fully now. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Thank you so much. Sadhu sadhu.
So this is one beautiful sutta for the sotapanna.
Any other sutras that you would recommend for
There
us
are,
to read?
yeah, I can send a list of it. There are lot many suttas which talks about how a sotapanna happens. In fact, in the Mahaparinibbana Sutta, this is Dhiga Nikaya DN16, talks about Sotapanna. There, Ananda asks, tell me, how does a Sotapanna happen? And Buddha says, how many times I have to tell you that? Then he says, for the benefit of uh, everyone, why don't you explain? Okay, so he says, this is how you need to know about Sotapanna. It's called as the Dhamma Dasa Dhamma Pariyaya. Adasa means mirror. So what I am talking about, the mirror, he is talking here. Okay. So Ananda, he says, I will teach you the Dhamma, called the mirror of teaching, that a noble disciple who has this may declare for themselves. I have finished with rebirth in hell. I am not going to be reborn in any animal realm or a ghost realm. And I have finished with all the nirayas and the bad places and wherever I shouldn't be entering into it. And I am definitely a stream enterer and not liable to be reborn in the underworld and bound for awakening. This is there in DN 16, Diga Nikaya 16, which is Mahaparinibbana Sutta. So he Ananda asks, and then he says, do one thing, proclaim this to everyone, that through this they can understand they are Sotapanna or not. So, first one, there are three things we need to have. So, in the Buddha Dhamma, there are these three things. One is Pariyatti, second one is Patipatti, third one is Pativedan. Pariyatti means learning or knowing or studying. Patipatti means practicing it. Pativedan means experiencing it. So he says that Avecha pasada means experience. That means he has experienced something. Now the question comes, what have they experienced? They have experienced what is Buddha. They have experienced what is Dhamma. They have experienced what is Sangha. These three things are definitely required. And they are able to correct their mistakes even when the sila is broken. They know the sila is broken. They fix the sila then and there. And they don't commit blunders which will take them to the apayas. If they are not doing that, then they can say to themselves that they are Sotapanna. A very small explanation, but a very deep and profound one for people who want to know, am I Sotapanna or not? Am I Sotapanna or not? Best way is that, do you have experiential, have you experienced the Buddha Dhamma? Have you experienced the Dhamma itself? Have you experienced the Sangha? Meaning you should get the Saddha as an experience, not as a belief. Meaning there is faith and belief. Belief is that, oh, Buddha is great and we should follow his teaching. So I go to the, let us say in Sri Lanka, I would go to Ruan Valley, say, or I go to the Bodhi tree and I offer flowers, I offer incense, then I offer dana, then I take the coconut rice and all of that I do. That's good. But that is not what we are talking about. It's still pariyatti. Pariyatti means learning, getting into the grind. It's anugami state. Patipatti is the practice. I am practicing what I am learning there. So how do you come to know that you're practicing properly? Is that you get a real relief feeling in the center of your heart, and it keeps on expanding. So you know you're properly doing it. If not, you will get a contraction feeling. So you have to look at the contraction feeling, this feeling, Vedana. You need to observe. You're getting a contracting feeling or an expansive feeling. If you're getting an expansive feeling by knowing Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, then 99% of the time you will not break the sila because you have faith in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Because you have got experiential faith in Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, that is the Pativedan. Again, you ends with Vedan feeling, then you are 100% a Sotapanna. So we can take DN16 as a reference to see whether I'm a Sotapanna or not. Another advantage in this, he doesn't talk about Sakkaya Ditthi and all that. Only this much is also sufficient. Does that answer?
Yes, it does.
And like
Thank
that,
you for that.
yeah, sure. There are many other suttas for the Sotapanna. There are at least
Okay.
20 plus suttas we can talk about.
Okay. And you would recommend all those 20 to be?
No, you don't have to
somebody-
even. No, that's not required. Only when somebody has lot of doubts, then that is required. But if you go through each one of them, that doesn't really make, that might even be confusing.
And also maybe that mirror experiment would be a good,
Yes. So
good
that
way
is
of
what,
checking
correct,
oneself.
correct.
A person who is truly following the Dhamma, just to give them that's something, a good test, I think.
Yes,
That might
absolutely.
work.
Absolutely. See, the very simple. What is Sakkaya Ditthi? That I take this form to be myself. I take the
Yes.
feeling to be myself. I'm feeling. I'm feeling through the eyes or ears or nose or tongue or whatever. Then I have a perception that this form belongs to me or it is part of me or something like that. And then there is this sankharas I keep on doing to retain this whatever I'm seeing as true. And the vijnana gives me that experience, right? And that is what is watching the mirror and seeing for oneself. So I need to be bringing in awareness that what am I seeing in this mirror? Am I seeing it like a body or am I seeing it as vilas? If I'm seeing as vilas, 100% I'm not a Sotapanna. Forget about anugami. You are not even a Sotapanna. So now if I'm not a Sotapanna, I cannot teach anyone because I myself require help. So then what happens? The person who is listening will get a distortion and that person will come to know. So he will never get that light feeling in the center of the heart or expansive feeling and all that. In fact, the person gets irritated and he feels not okay. So in that way also we can come to know the person whom we are talking to is a Sotapanna or not. That's another test.
Excellent. That's more information that I got, so I'm quite satisfied. Thank you.
Okay, no worries. And it is already 12:30.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
So thank you once again, and please share some sutras so that I would see, and I will join in the next.
Yeah, sure. So what I will do is
Program.
I will share the suttas in the description, and also I will share it in the what I can say on the WhatsApp for you, and you can go through it.
And thank you, and so that I can share it with my Dhamma
Yes, yes.
friends as well.
This video, when you share, they can see the entire sutta references. So all the sutta references, I've put it. Maximum sutta references, which is going to help them, I'm going to put that.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Teruvan Saranai once again.
Yeah, yeah. Teruvan Saranai to you and have a good night.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
Same
you.
to
Bye-bye.
you.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Bye.